Now, let's focus on the three pillars of manifested well-being: mental attitude, nutrition, and exercise. This is the introductory video of the video series with 21 episodes. 7 episodes we are going to start with mental attitude. Then we are going to talk about nutrition, 7 episodes. And then we are finishing with exercise. Hi, my name is Leandro Rodriguez. I am a well-being and nutrition coach. I have a background in naturopathic nutrition as a practitioner. I also study sports nutrition. I do sports. I have been doing martial arts for 10 years, and also I have a personal interest in psychology. This is the first video, which is an introduction for the 21 episodes video series Manifested Wellbeing. In this series, I'm going to be talking about the 3 pillars of my approach in helping people in increasing energy level, in improving body composition, and also in increasing performance. Mindset, nutrition, and exercise. These are the 3 pillars. My motivation in creating this video series is to have in the same place all the foundational information necessary for you or for any person that would like to know more about mindset strategies for goal setting, about food groups and nutrients, and about different types of exercise and its applications. So what I'm going to be delivering throughout the next month will be different episodes where I'm going to talk about one specific subject related to each of the 3 pillars: nutrition, exercise, and mindset. And at the end of this video series, you are going to have all the foundational information to know about goal setting, mindset, motivation, macronutrients, minerals, different type of exercise strategies, how it works, how do you organize your fitness training, how do you understand the different types of sets and the different types of exercise and applications. As I help people with weight management and fat loss, I'm very aware that there's a health crisis, there's an obesity crisis, there's a diabetes crisis, and also there's a mental health crisis as well. To have an idea on obesity and its numbers, in the UK, almost 1/3 of the population is obese. According to the OECD, the estimations is for the US, half of the population will be obese by 2030. And in Brazil, half of the population is either overweight or obese. If you take the numbers for diabetes, there are 4.7 million people in the UK suffering of diabetes, and 1.7 thousand people each year have problems with their eyes. The risk factors for diabetes is poor diet, lack of exercise, and excess body fat. There are 2 types of diabetes. The type 1 diabetes, which is not related to obesity. It happens when the cells that produce insulin, they are destroyed, they start functioning. And the type 2 diabetes, where either the pancreas doesn't produce enough insulin or the body gets resistant to the insulin that's produced. In the US, there is over 21 million people suffering of diabetes. Out of each, 95% are type 2. There is also a health crisis. If you go to my YouTube channel, you check the interview I did with John Vervaeke. He talked about a meaning crisis, and we touch on the health crisis and mental health crisis as well. Anxiety and depression, they are prevalent. 1 out of 6 people in the UK experienced a disorder in the past week, a depression or anxiety disorder. In the US, 18% of the population is estimated to have a mental health issue. And there is a problem as well of suicidal, because 70% of the suicidal individuals in the US, they had an anxiety disorder. This is serious, and men is 3 times more likely to commit suicide than women. These are UK numbers. And it has costs, severe costs to people. It can have social, financial costs, job, relationship. It can drive people to isolation and to desperation. I have experienced anxiety, panic attacks for years, and I have found my way out of it. And I can be as a testimony that is something that is very hard to do, and it's put you in a very complicated situation. My journey on becoming a well-being and nutrition coach started when I was addressing my anxiety issues. I went into a process of self-knowledge, a self-understanding, to understand what was going on with me, checking the literature about these problems. Once I found out what was going on, I went through therapy as well. And through this process, I started understanding concepts about mind, understanding the mechanism that creates the fight or flight response, and understanding and applying strategies to get out of anxiety, to control panic attacks, to control these anxiety feelings. In doing martial arts throughout the years, it also helped me in many ways. Doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I have applied martial arts strategies on my life, on my day-to-day life. And also, I have started studying nutrition, and then I started studying naturopathic nutrition, complementing this with sports nutrition and the strength and conditioning. And this way I created this body of knowledge where I decided to help people with body composition, energy levels, and performance. As I am involved in the world of sports as well, I have competed, and I sporadically compete Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I have been working also with athletes and competitors. The 3 pillars of the manifested well-being, the 3 pillars of my approach on helping people: mindset, nutrition, and exercise, they create a strong foundation for people to pursue their life goals. It helps you to maintain a healthy body And by maintaining a healthy body, you will have the energy and the capacity to engage in activities that they are meaningful to your life. Nutrition is a very important component because it's the nutrients that will be provided for you to follow your passion. And having the right mental attitude, it's important as well because it helps you to overcome challenges. Now, thinking about these three different pillars and how they interact with each other and how they can affect positively your health and can increase your levels of well-being. About mental attitude. Having a positive mental attitude is a pathway for fulfilling one's potential because you are able to look at challenges and understand and look at them as opportunities to grow, not as just roadblocks. Self-knowledge is important because knowing yourself, your strengths and your weaknesses, it will help you to manage your life better. It will help you to understand where I should engage in full force, where my strengths are, and understand what the weaknesses that I have, that where I should work, on which aspects of weaknesses I should work and I should improve myself, and also how can I make the most of it by understanding weaknesses, by understanding strengths. And self-esteem is also important because by cultivating the healthy levels of self-esteem, it promotes mental health and increases the overall level of well-being of an individual. Now I'm going to talk to you about nutrition. The second pillar, the first pillar, mindset. The second pillar, nutrition. Understand food groups, also nutrients. It helps you to choose the right combination of foods to help you to manage your weight, to help you to have optimal levels of energy and to have a healthy body composition. It includes limiting fast food consumption, which is proven that excess of fast food, it increases the risk of insulin, glucose, and lipids disorders, and also being aware of foods and their therapeutic effects as well. Something that when you work on naturopathic nutrition, you look at the therapeutic effects of food. There's a 12-week study showing the possible therapeutic impact of dietary improvements on people suffering of major depression. I'm going to leave all the sources in the video where you can check. So food as therapy has great potential. And not only that, because when you have a healthy way of eating, your body, it feels better. Your energy is different, It's not the same thing when you overeat or when you eat not the right combination of food for you, or you overindulge on fast and over-processed food, you feel, If you have 2 pizzas or 1 pizza in a row, you will feel tired, you will feel lethargic. Now I'm going to talk about the third pillar, which is exercise. Exercise is important because having physical activities that are appropriate to your goals in life, they help you with your energy, help you in having an optimal body, and helps you with your mental attitude and mental health. And appropriate means that each person is different. So each person have different interests, have different limitations on what they can engage on and not, and have different goals. So each person will engage in physical activities, engage in sports according to their needs, according to their capacity, and according to their goals and interests. There is a study as well with people who work out, and the findings was that individuals who work out, they have 1.5 fewer days of poor mental health in the past month on average, compared to people who did not exercise in the same period. Aerobic exercise are important as well. They help you with managing your blood lipids, on increasing HDL levels. And high intensity exercise, they also help to improve long-term cardiovascular health. Now, I'm going to talk about well-being, because we have focused on exercise, nutrition, and what about the well-being? So, as a general concept, well-being is broad. You have heard about objective well-being, subjective well-being, and depending on the person who is working on the well-being, they will work with different dimensions. As a well-being and nutrition coach, my specific area of research is on physical well-being, is working with health. But let's talk about well-being and talk a little bit about the development of research and development of the concept. Over 2,000 years ago, Aristotle, he wrote the Nicomachean Ethics, defining happiness as the human good, and that there are different views on what happiness is. And according to Aristotle, living well and faring well is associated with being happy. And the highest human good is happiness. However, happiness, as he defined, is the act of living a virtuous, meaningful, and purposeful life, or living a just and moral life, as he stated. So we see that when you talk about happiness, and happiness is related to well-being, we talk about two different kinds of happiness. Aristotle, he gets happiness, and the highest goal or the highest type of happiness is the act of living a virtuous life, which he called eudaimonia. And he said that there is the pleasure side as well of happiness, which is what Jeremy Bentham in the 18th century focused on, which is hedonic happiness. And hedonic happiness is positive affect or positive feelings. You have negative feelings and you have positive feelings. And the happier you are, the more positive feelings compared to negative feelings you have. And those two scales, they are independent. You have positive feelings and you may have some negative feelings as well. So you have to have more positive feelings than negative. And Jeremy Bentham in the 18th century, he that created the philosophy of utilitarianism, he said that the economics policy regarding economic policy that are aimed to maximize a person's happiness or utility. And the main goal is to give the greatest happiness to the greatest number of people more positive feelings than negative feelings. In the 60s, 1969, Norman Bradburn, he published The Structure of Psychological Well-Being, where he analyzed self-reported levels of happiness. He did a big survey. People self-reported their level of happiness, and he took this research and he published The Structure of Psychological Well-Being, where he compared and talked about hedonic happiness, positive versus negative feelings. And in 1984, Carol Reeve reviewed the psychological well-being paper by Bradburn and made some comments telling that Bradburn, as well as the utilitarians and the research as at the moment, they were focusing on hedonic well-being, and they left out the self-actualization part of well-being. So she created a multidimensional system composed of 6 factors: self-acceptance, positive relation, autonomy, environmental mastery, purpose in life, and personal growth. As you see, well-being is broad, and we are to subject well-being, which is the well-being that people self-report. It's not objective well-being. Objective well-being is what we can measure. Objective well-being could be things like the level of wealth of a country, the living standards of a person, access to education, physical health. It can be employment as well. And subjective well-being, it includes emotional responses, day-to-day experiences that you have. What are your emotional responses? How happy are you? How unhappy do you feel? What are your positive and negative feelings about your day-to-day experience? This is subjective well-being. Domain satisfaction is related how satisfied you are with different domains of your life. How satisfied you are with health, financial situation, social relationships, or work. And for one side, you have the emotional response, you have happiness. From the other side, you have the satisfaction in different domains of your life. So you have two different dimensions. You have, say, subjective well-being, which is one dimension composed of levels of happiness, levels of life satisfaction. And then you take the work of Carol Reeve on psychological well-being that focuses on self-actualization, on personal growth, self-acceptance, positive relations, or autonomy. And also the work of Edward Diener, which is one of the lead researchers on subjective well-being. He has been working for over 30 years analyzing and evaluating how people feel about their life, how satisfied and happy they are on their lives. And one of his findings is that very happy people, they have rich and satisfying social relationships, and they spend little time alone. Okay, so let's recap a little bit. We spoke about the 3 pillars of manifested well-being. We spoke about mindset, nutrition, and exercise. Then we spoke a little bit about well-being as well. Well-being has different dimensions. It has objective dimension, subjective dimension. Within subjective, you have happiness, levels of happiness. You have life satisfaction. We have the work of Carol Reef with psychological well-being, talking about self-actualization, self-acceptance, personal growth. And we also spoke about the Nicomachean ethics, Jeremy Bentham, Bradburn, and Dinner. Now I'm going to talk about the definition of well-being, because I was researching about the concept of well-being, and it was something that sometimes is overwhelming, because it's so broad that you have to be very specific and very focused to look at what you really want. But however, we have to have an understanding, the overall understanding of everything that's around. To define well-being, let's talk about the Oxford Dictionary definition first. The Oxford Dictionary defines it as the state of being comfortable, healthy, or happy. Then we take this very compressed definition, which is more like a description, and let's expand this a little bit. Okay, is the state. The state is the condition in a specific moment. Comfort, being comfortable, is in the sense of a person living standards is above a minimum acceptable threshold, and we can talk about what a minimum acceptable threshold is. Being healthy in the sense not free of illnesses that in manifesting optimum health, and being happy not only as a momentary emotion, but as a quality of experiencing life, reality itself, regarding how things are going in an individual's life. So in this definition, what I thought is, okay, it is missing the self-actualization. It includes life satisfaction, it includes happiness, it includes the objective physical well-being and the objective economic well-being, but however, life satisfaction is missing. So I created my definition on well-being as follows. The highest levels of well-being are present when an individual's minimum acceptable living standards are met, where optimal health is being manifested, where happiness is being experienced, and where there is a meaningful and flourishing life. So, as we can see, well-being is the condition of life that is consisting of psychological, physical, and socio-economic elements with subjective or objective dimensions that can be measured by self-reporting or statistical analysis. My approach on well-being, on supporting people in manifesting their well-being, is on objective well-being, health, and subjective well-being, psychological side. So we talk about physical activity, we talk about nutrition, health, and we talk about well-being concerned with the fulfillment of one potential, meaning self-actualization and flourishing. Talking about physical activity, regular exercise, it contributes to longevity. Entropy will tend to increase in a body that is not well exercised. Second law of thermodynamics. And also with a well-functioning mind and body, people have the capacity to pursue activities that give satisfaction and meaning to their life. Because this is the goal, this is the main goal. Having a well-functioning body manifesting optimal health gives you the tools and capacity to pursue the goals you have in life. And these goals, they will give you satisfaction. They will bring you happiness. And they bring meaning in life. And nutrition is important because proper nutrition as a basic element is important to maintain life and support growth. Think about a tree. You have a tree. You need soil. Of course you need soil. You need water. Yes, you need water. And you need sunshine. Yes. But at what proportion you need? How much sunshine? What's the temperature? What's the moisture? How much water? What type of soil? So each person needs a specific type of nutrition according to their goals, according to what they like or dislike, and according to their condition. And why is it important to maintain normal weight, health levels of weight? Because people of normal weight, they tend to have the highest well-being scores compared with people that are overweight or obese. And I will leave you the details for this study. And the psychological aspects of well-being focuses on activities that allow people to manifest their potential. These activities, they require active participation, they require engagement, they require focus. These activities are related to meaning in life, one being connected with something that's bigger than oneself. They are related to optimal experiences that are those that bring a deep sense of enjoyment, and also to transformative experiences when an individual goes through a process that has the potential to change one's perception of the world. And this is a very interesting area of research: intrinsic motivation by Edward Deci, flow experience by Csikszentmihalyi, and hierarchy of needs, Abraham Maslow. There's a great research on this, it's very interesting, and it's something that if you have the opportunity to check those writers, please do so. Now, let's focus on the 3 pillars of manifested well-being: mental attitude, nutrition, and exercise. This is the introductory video of the video series with 21 episodes. 7 episodes, we are going to start with mental attitude. Then we are going to talk about nutrition, 7 episodes. And then we are finishing with exercise, 7 episodes. It will give you a foundational understanding of mindset, goal setting, food groups, nutrients, and types of exercises. So, now we'll take the first part, mental attitude. We are going to talk about mindset, responsibility, dealing with frustrations and negative emotion, cognitive dissonance, awareness of breath and body posture, and the last video we are going to talk about self-esteem. Then we are going to talk about nutrition, macronutrients, protein, lipids, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, probiotics, and we are going to finish with dietary fiber. And finally, in the last part, the last 7 episodes, we are going to look at energy systems, muscle fiber types, understanding your training, planning a training session, planning a training program, and then finally we are going to look at endurance training, resistance training, and finish with high intensity interval training. So let's wrap this up now. Let's finish. Thank you very much for your time. And what I want you to do, like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep an eye on this channel. And I'm going to release the first episode very soon. And I'm going to let you know on my Instagram channel. I'm going to do a short update as well when I have something done. And you can expect from now on 21 episodes talking about mental attitude, nutrition, and fitness. Thank you very much.